Welcome to my live. It is 2/20/2024. I had to look at my watch to determine what year it is. I think I'm having perhaps one of those evenings. But welcome to Tuesday night at the desk. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Those of you who are joining up actually with this live tonight. I'm Artful Roger. That's Roger with the D, as you can clearly read on your device. I also archive these live sessions on YouTube under the same name, Artful Roger, with a D. Parents gave me the D. It makes it a little hard to find me, but all of my live sessions are archived. Tuesday nights, I'm here at the desk, and on Thursday nights, I'm at the craft table where we're working currently on a clock case upcycle, where we're taking an old clock case, missing its internal organs, that would be the clock parts, and we're building a small world or room inside that clock case. So that's happening at the desk. So that's Thursday nights. Hey, Mary Therese, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Another Tuesday night at the desk. We'll see. The thing about this, that, and the other, as it's titled, is we don't exactly know what's going to happen tonight and what the conversation is going to be about. Hey, Doug, welcome. Catherine, hello. I'm glad you're here. Checking out who's joining. There's been a lot going on around here lately. Garrett, welcome. Hello to Boise, Idaho. Hopefully it's not too cold out there. It's been wonderfully mild here in Atlanta. I think spring is coming early because, March is definitely the month of spring for us. Yeah, hey, Tim. Good to see your name again. Grandma, there you are. It's good to see names. It seems like a long time between Thursday night and Tuesday night live. Yeah, Garrett, you're up there in New York. Yeah, you just had a snow blizzard or something like that, didn't you? Or something happened. Snowpocalypse or something. Hey, Yvonne, thanks for checking in. Hopefully you're keeping dry. I heard that the help me out here. You can't speak for me. The thing in the sky, atmospheric river is happening again in Southern California. Yeah, thanks for the shirt comment. Yes, I decided to bump it up just a little bit. We don't want to be wearing my signature black, which is the color I love. So this shirt is something that I wear occasionally. People tend to like it. My brother-in-law, however, does not. He's a conservative eye doctor. And not that it has anything to do with being conservative, but he's a very scientific-minded person. And his comment about this was a nice shirt. So my sister watches these on YouTube, by the way. So hi, Rhonda. Andy didn't like my shirt. I know. Okay. Maybe he liked it. I'm not sure. But, come on. Would Andy really wear this? I don't think so. It looks a little like wallpaper. But I like it. Thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate that. I've received some very good detailed advice from some of you. I just said that person's name. So I want you to know that this weekend, as you saw in one of my videos, was incredibly busy just beyond here. Where are my fingers? I reversed my camera, by the way, tonight so that we can actually read things like this. You guys can see it. So the camera's reversed, so I'm backwards. So it's this way. That's the direction. This way. That way. I give up. Anyway, my new studio for the craft table is crazy, redone, and now I'm having a video audio lag with my new camera, which I understand is a glitch in TikTok. So I'm off this week, Thursday and Friday, from my full-time job. So all day Thursday, I'm going to be working on technical issues so that I can be prepared for Thursday night's live, because right now it's going to be my mouth moving and the sound coming out just behind that, or something vice versa. So it's going to be very difficult to follow. So I'm trying to fix it. I don't have a brother. I said brother-in-law. You're mostly quiet. I'm glad you're here. And it's either MS Steel or it's M Steel is what it is. I'm seeing it now. It's not Ms. Teal. It's M Steel. I appreciate that comment, that I look good in anything. The only thing I probably don't look so good in is when I don't have the shirt on. So we'll spare you that burden. Oh, Veronica. She is reading Mrs. Whaley's Garden. I have an instant lump in my throat hearing that. That is such an enjoyable, beautiful little homage to a dear woman who lived on the peninsula in Charleston, South Carolina. I think the book was written in the early aughts, or it was in 1990s, written by a man who really took down all the notes about Mrs. Whaley. It's such a delightful little read. It's a little book like this. It looks about this size. Thank you, Alan Daly. That's very kind. This is the same person who asked me today, how did I have a career, full-time job, and make TikToks all the time? I said to Alan, do I make TikTok videos all the time? I don't think so. Only sometimes. Charleston is super, super romantic. Go to Savannah, to the squares, though. That's my favorite. I know that Savannah is the stepsister of Charleston, but if you haven't been to Savannah, you really have to do it. No, I don't, Alan. Alan's trying to get on the dark side of Artful Roger. He's about to discover there is a dark side. Welcome to the dark side of the moon, Alan Daly. Hey, Henry. Welcome. I'm glad to see you. I just was rewatching one of my YouTube videos earlier, and yes, Mrs. Whaley and her Charleston garden. That's exactly the name of it, Veronica. And I'm repeating these comments because this is going to be in the YouTube archive where I'm putting them, and people on there can't see the comments, so they don't know what we're talking about. Welcome to Night Gallery. Retired Smart Aleck, you're here again. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that, Alan, you're right. The book is very sweet, Mrs. Whaley and her Charleston garden. My sister was born in Charleston. She has a very tender spot for that city. She and I both have such a connection to South Carolina on a spiritual level. And I call it spiritual because I really can't explain it, because it comes from here. It doesn't come from the brain, and it doesn't come from the body. It feels like it comes from here. I was watching an old Oprah rerun some time ago from the 90s, and she was talking about body, mind, and spirit. It was a concept in the 90s that some people had not heard of or even considered, and it was interesting to hear that. And it was described as being here, and that's exactly how I feel it too. It feels like it's right here. Peninsula of Lies, okay, another book that's been recommended. Yeah, my sister gave me Mrs. Whaley and her Charleston garden. I had it around here at some point, and I don't think it's in the library anymore. It's funny how many books that I've had over the years that have found their way in this house and somehow found their way back out. I don't know how they left here, clueless, but I think Mrs. Whaley in her book, they flew the coop, although I may have given it back to my sister. Who knows? I just can't remember. So, I wanted to bring something up to you guys since, like I said in these other lives, I'm the only one who can talk. And so you guys tune in to listen to me jibber jabber about this, that, and the other. So someone asked me what my fragrance is, what cologne that I'm currently wearing. And I saw this as I was passing by the tray of colognes that I have to go back some 20 years. This is the current one that I'm wearing. It's this. You know what this is. This, I don't even know if there's a name for this right now. Let's see if it has a name on it. This was recommended, and wait till you smell this. Look. Oh, it's heaven on earth. Don't you wish this will smell a vision so you could know? If you are a person who wears cologne, this right here, go find this bottle. It is absolutely Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent is absolutely, this is insane. This smells so good. So that is my current cologne that I wear. And like I said, I have Issey Miyake from 2002. I still have a partial bottle of Ralph Lauren Polo from the 80s still on my tray. Drakkar, remember Drakkar Noir? I have that partial bottle. I would not wear any of those fragrances now. They're totally captured. They're a time capsule for me. If you smell it, I'm right there. The only vintage cologne I wear from 20 years ago is Halston, and that's his Catalyst. And that stuff, that is my favorite of all. And I've got a tiny drop left in this test tube bottle, and I'm savoring it and save it for special occasions. I just adore it. It's super expensive now because I don't think it's made anymore. But Halston was really good. Yes, it is. It is vintage. It's crazy. Story time. I remember my son was about, I think Adam was, he must have been under 10, around 10 years old. And I took Adam to the mall with me. I had to buy some clothes for work and stuff. And I was with him as a kid when we went into a department store called Hex, Hects it was the name of the store, not like HECK, but Hects, Hex. It was in Charlotte, North Carolina at South Park Mall. And I took him in there with me. And do you remember back when department stores were something amazing, there was the cologne counter, which I think still exists in some stores, but someone handed a sample. And he was 10 and I was 32, I don't know, something like that. The two of us absolutely were just gobsmacked, smitten over that Catalyst cologne. So whenever I wear it, or think I have it on or smell it, I always think of being in the car with my son when he was 10 and having that bonding moment, over a Halston fragrance. So that is super special to me. Gray flannel. Retired smart aleck. I forgot completely about gray flannel. I used that up in the 80s. Gone. That was my cologne in the 80s. Absolutely. The only other cologne I wore too much was Drakkar. That was the only one that I ever liked that much. But gray flannel, yes, I had a bottle of gray flannel in the 80s. And it's, of course, used up and gone. Loved it. Loved it, loved it. Chanel, yes. I'll have to check that out. I need to go. The problem for me is if I go in a department store and I go to the fragrance counter, I'm going to spend money and I just can't make up my mind. And I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. Every time I walk by it, I'm like, don't stop, keep walking. The only reason I have this, and I bought this a year ago, is because someone on TikTok, believe it or not, was talking about all the notes in it. And I thought, I don't know. Oh yeah, here it is. It's called, I don't speak French. I don't know if you can, there you go. You guys can write it in there. That's the name of it. So is that like the man or something like that? Is that what that means? Anyway, it was a woman talking about it. And when she described the notes, I'm like, I'm going straight to my closest store, which is Macy's, which is a dump. But I went to this dumpy store and they had it. And I walked out of there $200 less out of my pocket or whatever it was. It's crazy expensive stuff, but whatever. There, thank you. And Lori, thank you for doing that. It is a very good one. It absolutely is. So that was a little story time for you. Macy's is, yes, there's one of my friends is in this live right now. She's moderating, and she and I were talking about this yesterday in chat about what's happened to department stores. Because back in the day, I'm not naming any names, but she worked for Lancome, I think, and Estee Lauder. And that was back in the glory days of the department store. And if you remember the kind of people that worked at the Estee Lauder and the other counters like that, they were something. And she was part of that back in the day. So wonderful memories of when retail was a romantic, I guess, cool place to go. I miss those kinds of stores, actually. The closest I found currently is Von Maur, which is here in Atlanta. I went up there about a month ago to update parts of my wardrobe. Not this shirt. This shirt came from Macy's, but Macy's, which was piles of clothes. This was crammed in a corner somewhere. I don't know. I pulled it out and said, hey, this looks good. But anyhow, Von Maur is still nice. Yes. Hey, Chipper, I missed you. You snuck in on me. Yes. Dillard's is okay, but Dillard's is a little packed. Yes, and Belk was nice back in the 70s. 70s, 80s, Belk was a great store. Now Belk is like too full of product. It's just you can't even push a rack in there hardly because of all the clothes. See what Oki said about my shirt? You guys take note of that comment. That is what some people say about my shirt. It's either nice shirt or quite the shirt, meaning that they don't like it. That's how I take it. But guess what? I'm wearing it. So there you go. We're all good. Rich's was wonderful. Yes, it was a great store too. Absolutely. Thank you, Thomas Upton, for mentioning the shirt is nice. I took a risk here when I bought this shirt, and it is a little outside my comfort zone. But when I wear it, many people like it. Joy, the shirt is cray. Okay, cray is short for crazy. Yeah, Marshall Fields. Nordstrom, I was a little surprised. I went to Nordstrom a couple of years ago. It had been a while, and I was expecting this service like I had back in the day, back in the 80s. Nordstrom was high touch, high service. They would set up a dressing room for you and all that stuff. It wasn't like that. It was barely what it used to be. Perfect for Palm Springs. This shirt will go to Palm Springs. Absolutely. It will be going. This and swimming trunks are going. This shirt is a lot. So, gay in May, I don't know what that means, but I'm glad you're reacting to it. Yes. This shirt is beautiful. This shirt has some awesome color in it. I really, really like this shirt. I love it. I love the colors in it, but it's for certain people. But typically, I wear things that everyone, I guess they just don't notice, because it's black or burgundy or some dark color. But guess what? I'm seen in this. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. So you guys ask me, you'd ask about cologne. I've been thinking about this live tonight because it's been a little while since I've sat here at the desk. And I was wondering some things. So I did go out and find some photographs. Do you guys want to see young Roger? I found some old photos that I'll show. I'm looking at one here, which is my husband and I would totally wear that shirt. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Everyone wants to see photos of young Roger. So this photo was taken in August of 1983. It says it on the back. Because I turned the camera around, you can see my writing. See what it says? It says Elder Roger Thomas, August 1983. Does anyone know what elder means and why I have that title in front of my name? I'm going to take a sip of my Pepsi Zero as you contemplate. Ruh-roh. Smart Alec. Gay in May. Oh, Alan Daly. You guys are close. Some of you are hitting the nail on the head. Yes, I was Mormon in a former life. This is a photograph of me at age 19. Focus. That is me at 19. This is me wearing my little black name tag and my three-piece suit with a vest. Isn't that just amazing? And I'm just a little kid. I was one of those that, yes, I rode a bike. I'm 19. The thing about me back then is I look 12. And it's just like a little 12-year-old. Lucky me, because it wasn't until I was 30, by the time that people said I started looking my age. And I was so happy because I was so upset at 29 when people thought I was still 21 and saw that. So, yes, this is me, I think, in August of 83. And look at the contrast. Now you see me now. It's like, woo! This is what 40 years does to a person right here. This is me at 19. And now 40 years later, here I am. Woohoo! Yes. But 19 years old, I was just in the mission field. I just had left the Provo, Utah mission training. It's called the Missionary Training Center, also known as the MTC. And I just left the MTC and I was in the field with my first companion. That's what we called them out there. They were called companions. And his name was, believe it or not, Joe Smith from Texas. He was my first companion. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Not that I was fishing. This is not a fishing expedition, but yes, I'm still here. I'm wearing a fabulous shirt. So let me see. So here's another. Let me think. I'm deciding what I want to show you. A photograph of my kids. They're kind of raggedy here. Let me see if I find another better. Here's a photo. These are my 4 kids. This would have been around the time when this was probably 2001, right after Teresa and I split, and I was in Oregon visiting the kids. So this is them on a little trip. That's my son. He's like 10 or 12. My 3 daughters leaning in there. So I'm going to back that out just a little bit so you can see them. But yeah, they're my kids, my little kids. So this always brings up a lot of emotion because this is when, this is the age they were when everything kind of changed, and I was really stuck, as you know, for a long time in grief in this place being their dad. And I'll show you me. I think I have a photo of me with them. Yeah, this is me on about on the same trip, and that was me back then. So this is 2001 when I was visiting. I think Father's Day is when I was out there with the kids. Took them to a little place called Enchanted Forest outside of Salem, Oregon. And, this is just, I was stuck in deep grief here. You know how you are as a parent when things are going south. You really have to hold it together and keep a smile on your face for your kids. But yeah, it was a hard time. I look the same. Yeah, don't I? Wow. Thank you, TikTok. So yeah, the couple of photos. Thanks for saying that about the kids. Let's see. You remember when I told you that? Well, here's one from 2002. This is me and my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she was about 14. So that's 2002. So I found this in the box. Fun stuff. And you remember when I told you that I was wearing leather driving gloves and I was I was drunk on my own Kool-Aid. I drank my own Kool-Aid. I found the photo. And this was taken, it's probably set on a timer, I'm sure, because I don't think that my ex-wife took this picture, although she might have. I could just see it. It's all over me. This is in the height of my, I was doing really well. I was making a lot of money. I was 35 or something like that. I'm wearing my gold ring that I had gotten multiple diamonds put in for what I had done at work. Not the diamonds the company paid for, not me. But here I am. And this person was the one who got and took a tumble. So this is me. This is the person that I remember being. This was me in the height of my Kool-Aid drinking. And this is when I learned a serious lesson about humility and that arrogance is not a compliment. When someone tells you you're arrogant, that's not a compliment. That's telling you need to adjust. And so this person that you're looking at was right on the edge of some deep grief, and some severe humbling came. And I'm not saying this person was bad. I'm just saying that this person was young, and this person had highlights in his hair too. You see that? Look at that. That is some 90s hair, and I was looking really bad, and I'm like, don't mess with me. It was an interesting time in my life. That person changed. And, I think that prior to experiencing those things in my 30s, I don't know. I told you guys as a teenager and in high school, I was not a popular kid. I was the kid I was bullied and tortured and pushed down in the hallway, and my books kicked, and it was just one of those things. It just kind of happened. It wasn't a pleasant experience, and that was my freshman and sophomore years. Kind of things got better, and it happens to a lot of people. But I think by the time, and I was kind of nerdly. As a matter of fact, I'm see if I find my nerdly photos. Now that I'm talking about it, I don't want to show the rest of these. Anyway, it was, I think when I experienced some success, I didn't know what to do with it. And I took the route of being a little bit superfluous and arrogant. And I got humbled. And I'm not there now. So I'm in a different place. I'm also nearing 60. So, hey, been there, done that. Show and tell. Chipper Doodle. Okay, I'll just show them to you. Heck, I brought them out. I mean, they're just, come on, let's do some cringing here, right? So this is me in 1987. Look at that sweater, and look, that's not my hair. That's a shadow, actually. Some of that's my hair, but the rest above that is a shadow. So this was 87. I'm 23. This is at the Getty in Southern California. This is me with my son and my oldest daughter, standing there with the view of Los Angeles behind us. It's really, there it is, focusing a little bit. Yeah. I always thought that was a cute photo. I'm not going to show that because it's got my ex-wife in it, and it's not my business to share her face on here, but I can show my kids. That's not a good picture of them. I don't know why this is in here. This is me and my son when he was a baby. So I'm 20, 26 there, probably 25. And that's Adam, little baby. Super cute, fun time. This is just the Getty again. This is me putting together a bicycle. With that sweat, look at that hair. Holy moly. Anyway, that's me putting a bicycle together for Adam here's his birthday. I'm still wearing BYU sweatshirts because that's not long after school. So yeah, that's Adam. I look like I'm just like I look like a 12-year-old. Look so young, and I'm in my early 20s there. This is me and a friend in Portland, Oregon, 2002. That's me in the back, not the front. Number 8 is my friend Chuck. And I showed you that one. I showed you the kids. And that's what I pulled out. So those are a few photos that I'm showing you guys tonight. Hot dad. Yeah, that's me. Woohoo! Yeah, it was fun looking in the box. Yes. What would you say to that 16-year-old being pushed down in the hall that had his books kicked? Well, that was a 14-year-old because when I was 16, I kind of learned how to keep my head down. I don't know what I would say to that person. I've done a lot of work over the years. I've been to, as you know, a lot of therapy. I've done inner child work, and I've worked with that. I brought my little Roger out and hugged the little Roger and let the little Roger cry. And I've done all that in therapy. So yeah, I've had a lot of discussions with that person. When I talk about those times in high school and being pushed down, I'm not reliving it in a way where I'm feeling pain or anything. It's just something that happened, and it doesn't have an effect on me like that. I remember it. But yeah, I think that the pain's been processed because I don't think that it's not something I would cry about probably or really feel pain over anymore. So no emotional stuff. Strawberry Girl missed the other pictures. Guess what? They're going to be on YouTube. You can look at them. Drop them or lose them. I'm sorry, Rob Roy. I must have missed your comment earlier. You may not be talking to me, by the way. Thank you, NJ. A lot of therapy. And I want to talk about something else too while we're on this subject of therapy. Steve is my spouse, and Steve is on he's on a business trip right now, so he's not here. He's not going to be back until Thursday. So I had the TV to myself last night, so we only have one TV, so I was able to watch what I wanted to watch, and I didn't have any idea what that was going to be, so I let Netflix decide. I watched something called Cheating Death, or no, Winning Death or something like that. I don't know what it was called, but it had people who had one of the episodes in it was about people with past lives, about little kids who remembered being someone else. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but it was, drop them or lose them. Okay, I know that. Yes, I do. No, it wasn't like that. See, the reason I got tortured in high school is because in that part of high school is because I looked a lot like an upperclassman who was a star athlete. And because I looked like his brother, I think I was a target because everybody thought I was this guy's brother. And I didn't know who this guy was, but we looked similar to one another. So I think that's why I was a target of the jocks. And that's why I got smacked in the back and, pushed down in the hall, and that kind of stuff went on for a while. But as I got older, it got better too, but that stuff still bothers you. But anyway, the show is about little kids who remember being someone else. And if we haven't seen that, it's super interesting and such an odd coincidence. Hey, Diane, you're on here. I'm glad. Oh, Tim took off. Sorry, Tim. I missed Tim saying goodbye. I'm glad you guys said something because I'm not able to see the comments all the time. But anyway, so I recommend seeing it. But it reminded me of that story I told you guys about as a kid having that very vivid dream memory of a car accident that I was driving a car. And I was a little kid. I remember seeing myself and knew that it was me as an adult. It was a male person, and it was me as an adult wearing blue jeans and a red and white check shirt. And it was very real because I recognized the person as myself, although it didn't look like me because it was a young adult male, but driving a 50s car, really fast. And there was a song playing on the radio that would trigger me that I would hear. And at some point, the commotion happened in the cars. There's a commotion. I can smell the acrid smell of smoke and burned rubber and chemicals and the iron taste of blood. that all of that was going on. And suddenly I was outside the car, and the wreckage, the car was upside down. It was broken and bent, but I could see in. And right now, even talking about this, I'm having this complete, it's all happening here. But I could see what was me hanging in the wreckage actually of this vehicle. And for a long time, it would just, I could really get shook by that, as they say now, and thought for many years that that I believed that I had some past life thing that I had not, something that's where I came from. I don't know why, because it was so real to me. And still, like right now, talking about it in detail, it's like a, it's like a taste in my mouth of, because I was upside down hanging in the wreckage, and I could see it. That red and white shirt had blood on it. And I was thinking, I am never going to wear a red and white check shirt. And I haven't. I've never owned one. I won't wear one, actually. It's really weird. But watching that last night, I sat there by myself and I thought, wow, I just was remembering that. And all that happened as a kid. And as I got older, it became more and more distant. So there was that, yeah, that really struck home. So if you haven't seen that, if you're interested, I recommend it. It was really, this kid was someone in the 1940s who was shot down in a plane, World War II. So it's really, really interesting. Yeah, this is, and I'll tell you, vivid dreams. I've had vivid dreams, especially vivid dreams about my mom who passed. But this was more than a vivid dream. This was like a memory that felt like a dream, that was so real that it's just, I can't explain it. It's so unusual. That's why it stuck with me all these years, and why I've talked about it on and off over the years, and even talked about it in therapy. But I don't think I've ever done hypnotherapy. So your worst dream, I think, is one where I was driving and it hit a concrete barrier. Yeah. My dreams now is when I'm in a car and I put the car in reverse and then it starts speeding up and I can't stop it. And I'm driving in reverse, looking over my shoulder, trying to keep the car going, and it's going faster and faster. And then I wake up as the car is a mess. I have those dreams too. I think they're stress related. Done that too. Waking up. I don't like those kinds of dreams. I always wake up crying. Absolutely. I've had that happen. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are sharing these things. It's awesome. So, Diane, you have the reverse dream where your car's going in reverse and you can't stop it. Oh, yeah, car in reverse. That, it must be a common dream. Those are the scariest dreams. I can't stand it. Sometimes I'll put my car in reverse and back it out of the garage, and I think about that. I'm like, what would I do if this thing started flying in reverse? Yeah, so it's a common dream, evidently. Oh my gosh. You dream you're in the back seat trying to climb over into the front to drive the car because no one's driving it. Yeah, that's called a nightmare. I have looked up dreams. I've done dream analysis. Like I said, I've done all kinds of stuff over the years. That said, let me show you something. And I said this to you guys a long time ago in a live, some time ago, actually. This is You Can Heal Your Life. This is by Louise Hay. Don't you love that I reversed the camera, because now you can actually read this on your phone or on whatever your device is? This book, if you aren't familiar with Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, in this book you can look up a you can there's this chart in here, and you can look up an ailment. Say that you have, let's say you have dry eye. Okay, just what came up. I'm in the D section, so I have dry eye. The probable cause in your mind and heart, according to Louise Hay, for dry eye is she's saying, angry eyes, refusing to see with love, would rather die than forgive, being spiteful. Those are the things you might be feeling and dwelling on all the time that would cause you to have dry eye. So then she gives you a new thought pattern to put into your head. And this is the thought pattern that goes for dry eye. I willingly forgive. I breathe life into my vision and see with compassion and understanding. So that is the antidote to these physical ailments. She believed she healed herself with these thought processes of cancer. She had, I think, some sort of ovarian cancer or uterine cancer or something like that, and actually through the process of this was able to heal herself. Here's one. Does anyone want to know the mental cause for cellulite? I'm in the C section now. C section, cellulite, anyone say yes, and I will read you what you need to do. What caused your cellulite and how to get rid of it. Okay, here we go. Vivi, Lucy, Little B said, okay. That's how I'm reading that. Okay, I got some yeses going on. Okay, here's cellulite. Cellulite is stored anger and self-punishment. That's cellulite. The new thought pattern for dealing with cellulite: I forgive others. I forgive myself. I am free to love and enjoy life. So if you have cellulite, these things, what I'm reading to you tonight are words, and I do not want to come across as making light of this book, because this little book right here, this is the second book I've owned. The first book fell apart because I used it so much. This was the very beginning of my journey in 1990 of beginning to find healing for myself, to come to terms with who I am, to deal with a lot of issues in my life. We all have them, and we have things that come from childhood. We have parents who were, they're people, and perhaps they became parents, and that's just how it went, and they may or may not have been prepared for it, and they had their own shortcomings, their own things they had to fight with and deal with in their lives. So they have children, and they do the best they can, and that's how I see my parents. I have zero regret for the parents I have. As a matter of fact, I think about them in a very different way at this stage of my life. I see them as not as my parents as much as I see them as friends of mine, or I see them wholly, I think, as people now, and not looking up at them as my parents, but I see them, across as being people doing the best they can. I think that happens with age. But I know we take that, though. My point is these parents of ours do things a certain way. We carry that into adulthood, and it's up to us to fix things. This book, though, not making light of it, will help you get started. It absolutely does. So let me see what else is here. Let me look up something else. Anyone have blackheads or bleeding gum? I'm in the B section. Asthma, athlete's foot. Bell's palsy, anyone? Bedwetting, that's in here. Anemia, anxiety. So let's talk about anxiety, because I think that's something we have. So anxiety for her, the probable cause is not trusting the flow and process of life. And the antidote for that is, I love and approve of myself, and I trust the process of life. I am safe. Again, I'm reading words, but when I read that last part of saying I love and approve of myself, it's not just repeating the words and memorizing them, but it's actually spending time to understand those words and to make them a part of you. Like saying I love and approve of myself is very easy to read those words, and it's also very easy to repeat and say them. But it's a different thing when you actually think about it and you start to say things like I love and approve of myself, and you really mean it. I've been in therapy. I've done this. There was a time when I maybe couldn't have even said those words without coming apart and really mean it. And like I said, doing inner child work and seeing yourself as the small child, holding that child and telling that child what you wanted to hear from your parents, those things are very healing and very transformative. So yes, I'm sorry I didn't read your comments, but I recommend this book. I'm so glad I reversed it, because now you can see it. But this is a really delightful little read, and it's easy to read. And she really tells you things. She tells you like it is. So another book that I would tell you to take a look at if you're looking for something that's going to help do some improvements is Loving What Is. And that is Byron Katie. Byron Katie's therapy sessions, you can look at them on YouTube. Look at them on YouTube. Look at them and watch it. She's the one that tells you to look at your life with a series of just maybe 4 questions, and they help you flip things around and look at them differently. I recommend it. Her book is absolutely amazing. This was my beginning. Byron Katie was the middle, and I've got other stuff going on now. So I'm in a different place. I'm not at the end, I hope, but we'll see. But I'm in a process. Parents didn't say they loved you back. That's true. Some parents didn't. Some parents did. But I don't think people were equipped back then for such things. This wasn't the way the world was set up. We've actually been exposed to a lot more of this type stuff than our parents ever were. I don't know that my mom ever read You Can Heal Your Life. I don't know. I probably gave her a copy, but she may not have used it. Thank you, Little B. That's very kind. Oh, can I show the cover again? So this was probably the 90s, I think. This may be 2002. I'm not sure. But You Can Heal Your Life is the name. It's Louise Hay. You can see her name there at the top. Louise passed away, I think, in the last few years recently. This book is 1999. So I was right. This is 1999. You can tell that does look very 1999, doesn't it? Psychodrama. You'd have to tell me what psychodrama is, or I'll have to look it up to understand. Hey, love my convertible. I was just watching one of my TikToks to see what I was doing, what I could do better, and I saw me saying to you, hello, love my convertible. Hope you're doing well. I like your title, your name. Byron Katie, Loving What Is. Yes, I recommend it. It is if you want to, you love the new set. Thank you. If you want to, and that's Matt speaking, if you want to take something in your life that is hard for you, someone that is hard for you to deal with, something that's hard to deal with, go to YouTube and put in Byron Katie, The Work. Okay, it's The Work. She calls it The Work. Watch her do a session. You can write down these questions she asks. I think you can even get the worksheet for free. I think you can download it without buying anything at all. It's free. She makes it free. Do that work on that issue. Just take, say you don't get along with your sister or you don't like a coworker. Do the work for that particular person and see what happens, because you are able to unhook emotions. It's really something to watch. You got to see it and you got to experience it yourself. And again, you got to put yourself into it. I think that you heal your heart through the process of letting things go. I think if you live in your life like this instead of like this, I think that's what we do wrong. I think we resist things instead of saying yes to it. And instead of saying yes to life, we don't have perhaps faith or trust that everything's always in perfect order, that things are always working out for my highest good. If you can believe that, if you allow yourself to believe it and just trust it no matter what it is, even if, let's say that I got it from this chair right now and this live is over and I fall flat on my face. I trip over this cord here from this light and I wipe out, and knock out a tooth. I could really get upset about that. Or I could say, guess what? How do I know it was time for me to fall down? I fell down. Guess what? How I know it's time for me to lose that tooth? It got knocked out. If you can look at things like that and realize that I'm going to go with this because it happened. I think what happens to us is that there are events in our lives and we resist it. We're like, I don't want that to happen. And I can't believe that happened. And why does this happen to me? Instead of saying yes to it, the magic is in the yes of it. That's going with the flow, because all of our resistance does nothing but make us pained. That's all it does, is increase the pain. If I fell down right now and all I did was lay there and kick and scream on the floor and go, I can't believe I fell down. Why is this happening to me? Instead of just saying, hey, I fell. Hopefully I can get up, or I push my life alert or something. But I think that is the magic and secret of life, is going with the flow, because it's just easier to believe that everything's in perfect order, that I'm okay and I'm going to be okay. I can do this. And I may not be able to see where my next foot's going to go, but I'm going to put my foot down anyway. And if it goes through the floor, then guess what time it is? It's time for me to be in the crawl space. So I know I'm preaching. I'm going for it. Thank you, Gran. I'm glad you said that, because it's absolutely true. I agree. I totally think that's true. It's about holding your hands, letting things be what they are, and being okay with it. My mom still asks me every time I leave her or say goodbye, is there anything I have you need? You'll have to explain that to me. So my thing about the butterfly analogy is my children. Right now, my adult children are on hiatus from their dad. And that is by their choice. They made that choice because these days, because people carry around one of these things, and you can do what we could not do in my age is block people. And you can block phone numbers, you can block all contact. The only way that any contact can be made between me and my kids right now is via the U.S. mail. And they may have a mail stop on. I have no idea. But I brought up that because this unexpectedly happened. It's part of growing up. There's a lot of conflict. If I guess conflict may not be the right word, but there's a cultural difference between me and their mother. We're very culturally different people, and we try to be together in two different kinds of cultures together, and it just didn't work out. And my kids all live near her, and kind of that's part of it. But to get to the butterflies is to say that instead of me holding my children like this, I have my hands open like my children as if they're butterflies. They can fly away or they can come back and land on me when they want. My hands are not, I'm not close to my children, but I am right now allowing them to fly where they need to fly. And will they come back? I don't know that. But again, looking at that, instead of saying, why me, and crying about it and being upset about it, saying, why not me? Let's just see where this goes. And it's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And everything's going to be okay. So the butterfly thing is about letting things come and go as they please, including our own relationships. And you know that if you are in a marriage relationship or in a romantic relationship and you become possessive and you're gripping and holding on to somebody and you want them to be a certain way because that's the way you love them and you're not letting them grow, it's not going to last. You've got to open your arms and hands and allow that person to be there with you. And if they leave, they leave. And you're going to be okay in saying that was the right thing. And there's going to be grief, but allowing it to happen. I think that is part of it, of our challenge here, is to accept and allow. And now I was in some of my therapy. The word allow was a big word for me. Allowing. Yes, that is very true, Matt. You can only control how you react. Chipperdoodle's like, I got it. Okay. Put the club down. And everything has a season too. When I was in the middle of my deep grief, when my marriage was falling apart, it was gone, actually. It didn't fall apart. It was over. Someone gave me that people in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I found that in my journal. I found the email from AOL, from my AOL account. And it's exactly, it meant a lot to me then, but I've heard that a lot of times since then, but it's very true. Yes, I do have grandchildren. I have 5 grandchildren. So all of my adult children are married, and 2 of them have reproduced. How you like how I said that? Very clinical. Hey, Candy, I'm glad you love the shirt. Thank you. I've gotten a mixed reviews, which every time I ever wear the shirt, I get mixed reviews. There's those who love it and those who don't love it, and everyone else says, nice shirt. That's a shirt, but it is a beautiful, beautiful fabric. It's not a high quality fabric, but it's certainly a great print. It's beautiful. It would make a wonderful wallpaper. Glad you like the shirt. Candy, you're my kind of candy. Groovy, it's a shirt. Thank you, Groovy. I know what you're saying there. It's a shirt. A Disney forest look. Okay, that's nice. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, that was my journey. Oh, here's another book, guys. I think, so the shirt's handsome, and I think the shirt looks good on me. Hey, come on. I'm trying to add some color in this rather monochromatic space that I'm in because I really do like this background. I really love it. I wish my office looked like that. Unfortunately, this is fake, but I would love for it to be real. It's just somebody painted that. Clearly, it's painted. But look at this book. The Secret of Letting Go by Guy Finley. Another book. This is about opening your hands. That's what this is about too. We hold on to things and we cause ourselves pain and anguish. We prolong things. You know, there's that term out there now in corporate America when people say lean in. Don't you just loathe it when people say lean in? I don't like it. I don't like synergy and lean in and, at the end of the day, all those terms we use in corporate America. But lean in is saying yes to a process instead of resisting something. It's just saying, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to lean in. I'm going to give it. I'm going to go with this and go in that direction. That's where the serendipity of life is. When we're working on this clock case project, you guys are following along with this. You've already seen some of the serendipitous events that happen. It's so much happens. It's like Tim, who's left this live tonight, is making that I keep saying that, the bead Christmas tree. I had no plans for a bead Christmas tree. I didn't know what a bead Christmas tree was when I set the intention of doing that clock case, knowing that we were going to have a certain theme. Tim finds me on a live, follows me on TikTok, and offers to donate a champagne colored bead tree to this project. And the clock project is just a little thing in my life, but there's bigger things in your life that are just as serendipitous. And there have been times in my life where I call it being in the flow. And I think it's times when I was saying yes and allowing and having what we call faith. Again, like I said, putting the foot down when we don't know if there's anything there, just keep going in that direction. I've had times in my life where I've said, I'm just going to go with it. I'm not going to overplan this. I'm just going to let things find me. People, things will find you. They absolutely will find you. And it is, challenge yourself to do it. Like, decide on a day. Today, I'm just going to let things find me. I'm not going to overplan what I'm going to have for lunch. I'm not going to overplan what I'm going to do for the weekend or anything like that. I'm just going to I'm going to take things as they go. There's even people who have a day when they say, I'm going to say yes to everything today. I'm not going to use the word no. I've heard that. I haven't done it. It would be super scary to say yes to everything because I say no to a lot of things, but it would be an interesting day if you could do it. But I would challenge you to allow yourself to let things find you and start seeing the magic in your life, because I think it's always there. I was talking to a friend today. We were chatting again online in chat, and I asked her if she'd seen the video. There's a video out there on YouTube, and it's back from the 90s. It's of a basketball game. And you're watching the video, you watch a video, and it's men playing basketball, and it's a high level shot, and you're just watching a basketball game go on, and you see it. And then the video stops and it says, "Did you see the gorilla?" Has anyone seen this video? It's a basketball game being played, and then the video rolls and it says, "Did you see the gorilla?" Has anyone seen that? Matt, you've seen that? Okay. Anyone else seen that video? Okay. I'm not going to tell you the rest of this. Okay, here's what I would tell you to do. Go to YouTube. Not now, not in the middle of my live, but go to YouTube. I don't want to spoil it. I spoiled it for my friend today because I told her the rest of it. But you probably have already spoiled it. But I want you to watch this video. It doesn't even matter. I'll tell you. It doesn't matter because it's not going to hurt anything. Because you're still going to, maybe you won't see it though. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I may have already ruined it. My point is, if you watch this video, and it tells you to see the gorilla, and you say you didn't see a gorilla. But when you go back and watch the video again, a man in a gorilla suit walks right through the middle of the court. You do not see it the first time. Your brain tunes it completely out. My point of telling you that, it blows your mind because you rewind the video and watch it again, and it's clearly there, and you're like, I don't know how I didn't see that, but you didn't, because your brain is focused on the basketball game. You're watching basketball, and you're expecting something to happen there. You're not even thinking about somebody in a gorilla suit being the scene. So your brain completely tunes out something that was clearly there the entire time. And once it's planted in your mind, then you can't help but see it. And I probably ruined it for you guys. My point in telling you that again, that I believe is how life is. I think stuff is all around us all the time that we just don't see. Our brain just completely tunes it out. We don't believe it's there. We don't believe in it. We don't think it's real. Therefore, we don't see it, but it's there. I believe that's true. I've lived on the edge of magical experiences where things have come to me. Some people attribute it to God, delivered it to me. That's fine. But I think we all have that accessible to us if we can calm our brains down and our expectations and live a little bit more like this and a lot less like this, just with these super tight expectations of how things should be or ought to be. Woo! Good. I need a drink of Pepsi. By the way, I'm from the Carolinas. That's where this drink came from. And this is some good stuff. And my tracking camera is messing up again. I think when I hold up my hands like that, it makes the camera do something. I have no idea. Yeah. I see you, Groovy. It does. It flies, flies, flies. It absolutely does. My chair is quiet tonight. It is. I don't know what happened. It's just a little creaky. I fixed the microphone too. I think the problem is my microphone. You're supposed to stand the microphone upright and speak into it like this. I had it pointed down, which means that it was hearing things going on downstairs and not where it should. See, this camera now is tracking. Irritating. Stop. Ugh! And I don't know how to make it stop. Stop tracking. Okay, it's good enough. You guys, you just need to hear me. Look at that. See, look, there's the light. And over here. All right. The Flapper Girls are been ordered. Yes, Tim found them on eBay and sent me the link to them. There's 3 of them, and they're in 3 different colors. There's a pink one, which is the one I'm really leaning toward using, a blue one, and a green or red one. I can't remember, but they're in dresses, and they were on eBay, sold in a set of 3. So we'll see. They're kind of flappery. They're 1920s porcelain, and they stand on their own little feet. So we'll see. I don't know for sure. I'm sorry, the camera is just really not wanting, and I don't even know why it's not centering. I don't know what it's looking at. I'm right here, and it won't center on my face. Whatever. Rob Roy, those are the ones you want me to look at. It was a set of 3. Yeah, so Tim sent them to me also. I made an offer, and the seller accepted my offer, so they should be here anytime. So that reminds me, I want to tell you guys that a couple of things. You know, I revamped the craft table area. You saw the video with the orange brick, and I've got a new camera. It has to go through my laptop, which is what I'm using tonight. There's an audio video delay, which I hope on Thursday I'm off. I'm going to be able to fix the audio video delay. If we can't fix it, then I'm going to have to flip my phone around and use my phone again. It's not going to be pretty, but we have to talk about the clock case one more time. There will be another live Tuesday night, but there will not be a live the next Thursday. So a week from tonight, I think that's right. The very end of the month. Is that next week? Whatever it is. I think it is. Yeah. So a week from tonight, there will not be a live, and there will not be another live on, I'm sorry, Thursday. Guys, I'm sorry. A week from Thursday, there will not be a live, and there will not be one the next Tuesday. So just so you know. So yeah, but this Thursday, we're going to be in the new space. And it was a lot. Thanks, Sarah. I'm glad. It looks really good. It's really nice and orangey. So perfect. Yes, I am going to Palm Springs. Yes, I am. I've told you guys so much. I might as well give you my social. I mean, is there anything I haven't told on here? Thank you. I'm glad that I'll be missed. But it'll be a short time. But it'll give you guys time to find someone else. Oh, my goodness. You know, Little B, that is a possibility. I could do that, actually. This camera, I wish that it wouldn't track. But there was a hand gesture I did earlier, something like this, and it causes it to start tracking, and I haven't bothered to look up the hand gestures. Yes, I can do a live in Palm Springs, and I certainly will. Absolutely will be. We don't want anyone else. Music to my ears. I missed Rob Roy's comment. I'm sorry, Rob. I saw it go through. Do a live pop-up. I'm going to do it. I absolutely can do that. No problem. I'll do it poolside. There's no one else. Did I freeze? Have I frozen now? I'm not frozen now, am I? It looks like I'm seeing a live image, so it looks like I'm okay. Do you see that? Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Is that causing it to turn? Turn back the other way. This camera was one of those things I bought. I'm not frozen. Okay. I don't know what it's doing. What if I slide it over here? I guarantee you that it will just continue to be. Okay, that's better. So there it is. But it's going back. One Artful Roger, that's right. Yeah, just for a little bit. But I'm going to be at a Hilton, so it'll be fun. Ugh. Yeah, so that's good to know. Lori, thanks for saying that. I want to remind you guys, if you're new to this, to Artful Roger, I am archiving these lives. The Thursday night live is a craft live, so that is really interesting. Not that tonight wasn't, but they're archived on YouTube, on a YouTube channel, Artful Roger. Preppy Bear. Saw a gorilla. Okay. Groovy saw a gorilla. Yeah, I'm glad you heard the butterfly message. Exactly. There's only one of me, thankfully. Yeah, the thing about subscribing to a YouTube channel is there's no charge for that. It's, you can subscribe and you don't have to pay for that, so it's all good. Paul is on here. I miss Paul. Mary Therese using the emotes, as they call them. I haven't made any. I need to do that. So what have I missed tonight? Is there anything I haven't talked about tonight? We showed some pictures. We talked about colognes. Yes, you're still trying to figure out TikTok. Well, one thing you can do, the user 7635086 is come up with a nickname for yourself. And like Rob Roy, he had numbers and he became Rob Roy, which is an awesome name. So come up with something like that for yourself. That's fun. Mad Housewife, there will be swimming trunks. We don't know what kind they'll be, but I'm so mad at this camera. But there will not be anything shown here on this TikTok. That is for sure. Yeah. That's not, I want all of you guys to be okay. Must have a cloche and Christmas tree emojis. Yes, I need to do that. You're right. I need to do that. It looks like I could do them with photos or something like that. I'm not sure. It's going to be cold in Florida. Hopefully it's not cold in California. I hope it's not raining out there is what I hope. Groovy, I'm glad you said that. Your eyes couldn't take it. Now, I can say that, but when you say it, it just hurts. But you know what? My hands are open. I'm going to go with it. I'm good. Yeah. We'll see. Rob Roy, I'll just wear this shirt out of spite. Palm Springs. You're freezing up. That's you on that end. Okay. I hope it's nice. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. And even if it rains, I'll see palm trees, and that's going to make me feel better. Perhaps, if there's any vintage in Palm Springs, the only vintage that'll be there will be me. No, I think there's a lot of vintage in Palm Springs. There's a lot of me's there. Yeah, Roger doesn't wear Speedos. Palm Springs. Yeah, I'm guessing there won't be rain, but there is that. They're having a lot of rain in Southern California right now. But I'd probably not out in the desert. It is old school. Guess what I am? Old school. Oh, there is a vintage flea market the first week in March. Of course, we're there. It's the 6th. That's not, oh, that's the first weekend in March. So we'll see. Can you show how to force spring bulbs, at the craft table? Yeah, you force spring bulbs. You start on those in December, January or December. December or January. You know what, Vivi? I'm getting to that age. It's funny because I'm going to give you true confessions. I have always worn those boxer-looking swimming trunks. This is what I've always worn. But as I've gotten older, I always thought, why do older men always wear tight swimming trunks? I'm about to turn 60, and guess what I've been trying on for my Palm Springs trip? And there's someone on this live who's probably going, oh my God, because we had a discussion about swimming suits and stuff like swimming trunks. But I am actually at that age, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't want that floppy, all that fabric. I can't stand all that. And it's just to have something tight on my legs and that fits is something that I'm thinking about doing. Not Speedos, but like trunks that actually that are more form fitting and not so not floppy, a lot of fabric, which is what I've always worn. So that is what I'm considering. We'll see if it happens. So far, here's what's happened. So far, this camera is making me crazy. You're seeing the dark side. So I started with medium. Then I sized up to a large. So extra large will be here Monday. I'm not joking. So we're going to see what happens. They're black trunks, and we'll see what happens. Now, the medium didn't even put those things on. I looked at those and said, there's no way that's happening. So the large I tried, borderline. I think the extra large is going to be fine. But these swim trunks, it'll be the first. And if I dare wear them out in public, which in Palm Springs I probably can. And again, they're not Speedos, so let's not get any ideas. So we'll see. A medium, boys. These things evidently are cut small. They do. But it said, according to what I read on the reviews that, well, I did read a guy's review that said he was the same height as me and he weighed about 5 pounds more than me because he put his height and weight on there and he said the size he got and he bought XL. So, and he said they were a perfect fit. So I didn't start there because I thought there's no way I wear XL. I wear medium. Most everything's medium that I wear. So getting the large, I thought this is it. Well, it's going to be XL. Definitely a pick. I think not. I'm telling you, if these trunks fit, I'm going to wear them at the pool for sure. But I am not going to be taking pictures, and no one's allowed to take pictures of me in those things because I'm going to be out there. It's going to take all the courage I've got to get out there and do this because I've never worn swimming trunks like that before in public. And sizes are crazy. You're right. It depends on who makes them for sure. Little B, I'd love to see it. Little B. Forgive her. She knows not what she says. It's funny because sometimes, you think I look really good in this. And then you take a picture of yourself in it and you look at the picture and you go, I don't look good in that. I want to believe the filter of my brain. I don't want to see what that picture's showing me. It's just a little too literal. So we'll see. Yes, okay. I have been 6 feet my whole life, but I went to the doctor recently, and the doctor told me I was 5'11". So I don't know. Am I shrinking? I weigh 100 and I weigh 185, 184, but who's counting? 183 some mornings. So I'm right there. But during COVID, I was up around 210. So that's how much weight I gained during COVID. It was a cookie baking free for all around here. All the guacamole you could eat. What's a serving size of cookies? Well, 2 dozen. Why not? Let's just mow them down. We don't know how much longer we have. So let's just go out eating cookies. So yes, this matter of fact, the jeans that I'm wearing right now, I do not have to unbutton these jeans anymore to put them on. They remain buttoned and zipped. I just pull them off and on just like sweatpants. But during COVID, it was like button, and then you had to squat down to stretch the fabric out, the denim, so they got comfortable. And you're like, I know these are going to fit. They're all tied around my legs. They look like leggings, but not anymore. So is actually all of my hard work has paid off to get rid of at least 20 pounds. Yes, during COVID, we all snacked like nobody's business. We all were killing it for sure. I am so angry at this camera, I could scream. And it's not even centering tonight. I don't know, because I probably did something where it's in some sort of presentation mode where you're supposed to have a screen next to you, and it's doing that. I guess I could unplug it and plug it back in, and then you guys wouldn't see me at all. I hate that feeling when you try summer clothes on. Exactly. You go to buy summer clothes and that happens. It's the shirt. It's not the shirt. What's up with this shirt? This shirt either gets love or hate. It doesn't know anything in between. The poor thing. I thought you guys would love this shirt. I really did. I thought I'm showing up with some color. I'm really bringing it tonight. I went upstairs and went in the closet and I said, you know what? I should wear this. This is more colorful than I normally wear. I looked at some of my archive lives on YouTube and I look green. I look pale. And I'm like, I need to put some color up in that. So I'm glad you like it. Thank you. No, they're not morning glories. They are, let me think about this. There's leaves, there's botanicals, and they're not morning glories. I know this flower. I'm having a moment. I'll have to think about it. Thank you, and thank you, everyone who's liked it. They're not hibiscus blooms, but they're hibiscus-like. They really are. I think it's a beautiful fabric. I just think it's really got a lot of wonderful detail, lovely colors, just beautiful. So, but again, not a high quality fabric, but just really pretty. Yes, it's a lily groovy. Mexican petunias. Yeah, if they were white, but I guess they are. Mexican petunias can be white. Yes, the colors I love for sure. Yeah, so I can't believe I talked about the swimming trunks, but that's been that's kind of been the thing on my mind because I did think about it this morning. I thought, I'm at that age now because I thought, why am I willing to go out in public with something that is so form fitting? That's going to be, they're black, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, because I've seen the guys at the beach and I'm like, I don't know how you can do that with that. That's like they call print, and here I am at this age and I would never do that in a million years, but it's like, it's comfortable. And I have a feeling I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that 60-year-old. And they're going to go, why do old guys do that? And I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be him. What can I say? Rob Roy, where does everyone order things from these days? You probably know. Will they be hot? You mean, will they be hot to wear or will I look hot in them? 60 is the new 40. No, I don't know. I think 60 is the 60. Yes, Rob Roy, you are indeed correct. And you know how Amazon is. It's all kinds of manufacturers on there. And, the models they show wearing them, it's like, you think, oh, I'm going to put these on and look like that. But if you look at the reviews and the men who bought it, the real guys take pictures of themselves. And there are all kinds of men on there taking their pictures in their swimming trunks. And I'm like, hey, I can do this. And I really, part of me just wants to be courageous and bold and say, I don't care. I'm going to do this. I'm doing it. And if these extra large that show up on Monday fit decently and don't cause me to have major fat back, then, and I mean fat back as in rolls on my back that are hanging over the back, which kind of. If that doesn't happen, I'm wearing them. I'm going to be bold and brave, and I'm going to do it. Yes. I wish I could wear my 2-piece or my 1-piece. Yeah, I think so, Vivi. I think I've got to be courageous and bold. I really do. Right. Exactly. That's what it's about. This is what I'm about at this age. I am going to be 60. When you look at things on TV about when people check out, it's in their 70s sometime typically. I don't have a lot of time. So if I'm going to do this, I better do it. I've spent all this time. It doesn't matter what has happened to me in the past because I wore swimming trunks and didn't wear tight swimming trunks. You know what I mean? Wear Speedo-like trunks. I'm not talking about the Speedos, a brief style, but I'm talking about trunks that are tight. My life's gone on. I've never done it. I'm doing it. If these things don't look obnoxiously tight, I'm going to be wearing them. And if I think they look okay, I might take a picture, and then sometime down the road when I'm 75, I'll hold it up like this and say, hey, look at me. So yes. Yes. And Henry, trust me, I hope that doesn't come off as whining. I totally understand it because I hear people whining about turning 50 and they're not whining either. They're just saying, I'm going to be 50. I'm like, 50 ain't crap. Yes. My birthday is in April. It's coming up. Little B, are you talking about my swimming trunks being loose fitting? No, these swimming trunks I'm going to wear are not. They are basically, well, let's don't say basically. These swimming trunks are, well, get yourself a paintbrush, bucket of black paint, and paint about 7 inches down my thigh. That's what you got it. That's kind of what the material they're made of and what they look like. They fit. There's not, and I just can't stand the swimming trunks that look like boxers. I just don't like them anymore. I have about 3 pair upstairs and I put them on and I'm like, they look floppy. There's a lot of fabric and I know why they're there, but I guess I'm just feeling a little immodest in my old age. I'm like, you know what? I guess Victoria's not the only one that will no longer have a secret. Again, so you never know when these Tuesday Night Lives, as it gets into this, what I'm going to end up talking about. You just cannot ever know. I'm either going to be laughing, confessing, or crying. One never knows. They're kind of like that, Susie. They're sort of like riding pants. They are riding breeches, but they're not as long. They're not going to get down my thighs far. Again, be brave. My blood pressure is kind of high right now. Yeah, you never know, Mary Therese. You never know. Hey, that takes courage too. Yes, exactly. I will definitely like the wind. And you haven't had to use your tissues tonight. Yes, at least tonight you did not have to worry about it. Yeah, they're all over the place. People who like to do that. And it's typically older people who like to do it. Yes, there are. In Palm Springs, I'm sure. Yeah. True Confessions of Artful Roger. Exactly. But you know, there's a very different than it's very different going to a clothing optional place or a place that like that and doing it because you're with everyone who's doing it rather than wearing something that's a little more, I guess you could say, revealing and going to a place where there's not people who are sharing in that it's a little bit different kind of courage, I think, that it takes. Paul, take care. Glad you were here. Yes, it may be too cold in Palm Springs for all this too, who knows, but you know, I'm trying it. Rob Roy hit it. Wow. There's nothing you missed, is there? Cool Fandy, or I think that's the name of whatever the name of it is, some weird brand. Exactly. That is the brand I'm dealing with. That is who I did 2 Amazon returns for. They're laying upstairs on the counter waiting to go. Paul, have a good night. What did I come into? Well, you can just as easily go out if you're afraid. Strawberry Girl, you do not want pictures. I promise you, you do not. Yeah, poolside, we'll see. We shall see. Sarah, thanks for telling everyone we're talking about it. Weedo instead of Speedo? Is that what you're trying to say? It's all part of being an older person. That's really what it's about. Thank you, love my lives. Thank you, Rob. I'm glad that you said that because you said you love my lived. I'm like, I don't know what you were saying, but now I do. Yeah, why don't you do that? Picture it in your minds. Imagine what it looks like. Show us the umbrella. I'm going to drink my Pepsi. I don't look close to 60. Dang it. This camera. Yes, I'll be having a little bit of that while I'm there. Oh, the umbrella's I got it from the drinks. Got it. Cosmia. How 20 years back, and there is no filter on Bold Glamour. Go and look at my videos and see me in Bold Glamour. It barely looks like me. I'm sure everyone who puts Bold Glamour on wishes they could live that way, because it just movie star. Susie, thank you. Susie, Colorado. Not Susie Cool. Susie, Colorado. I'm not upstairs. I'm down in the basement. I may, Vivi. I may have one. But I'll think of you for sure. Matthew, what did I just walk into? I look the same. Guys, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Matthew, you walked into a place where I'm just this guy who sits in front of a camera and people tell me how good I look. That's all. And so welcome to my live. I'm Artful Roger. And if you don't like the way I look, I guess you could just leave my live, because that's what we do here. So you just look at this. People are telling me how good I look and that I don't look my age. And we're talking about me in swim trunks too. Makeup applied with a putty knife is absolutely about the truth. I clicked the Bold Glamour filter back on and off. I'm trying to see what it was doing different. It was doing something with my eyebrows or something like that. I don't know what it was doing, but it was whatever tweaking it did was the little tiny thing that just made it look perfecto. Yeah, good for you. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's what we do here. But I'm glad you joined, Matthew, and thank you for telling me how good I look. I wish you would. Matthew, come back. Matthew, don't leave. Yeah, I should have. But you know what I thought of now that I'm sitting here in this live being silly? I could have brought those swimming trunks down here and held them up so you guys could look at them, and you could see how little the medium was when it came out of the package. Matthew, guess what? Now that you've said that, and I know you're probably new here, you have to follow me now. You have no choice. You have to go to the follow button and follow, because now you're part of the crew. That's what the crew does here. Matthew can't help himself. So join in, Matthew, and it's every Tuesday and Thursday night. Thursday nights, I'm actually working on a project that you can watch. So Thursday nights you get to watch, and on Tuesday nights you have to do a whole lot of listening. So I'm glad you're here. The crew demands it. That's right, Matthew. They know how it works around here. Don't make us come and get you. Yeah, you have to keep it under control. It's the spell I cast. Exactly. It's the shirt. It's my magic shirt that I wear. Causes people to get crazy. I think Matthew ran. Matthew saw the red sign that said EXIT, opened the door, and hit the road. And the camera's all to the side, too. Yeah, when I got the swimming trunks out of the package, when I got the medium out, I showed them to Steve, and they were like, are these for a Barbie doll? They were nowhere near the right size. So that's why XL. There's clothes like that, too, that you end up buying XXL, like you never would wear, but that's just how it is because of the way it's sized. Oh, he knew I was spoken for. Yeah, because I think it's in my profile now. I put married. Matthew is back. You guys are funny. Matthew tried to run, but he couldn't. He had to come back. He couldn't resist. Yeah, I had to put married in the profile because that question kept popping up, and so I had to take it out. Cosme is in Atlanta. So if you're from Atlanta, ITP or OTP? Cosme, that question's for you. ITP or OTP? That's how you're going to prove you're really from Atlanta. Oh, you're ITP. You're an in-town kind of person. And I can't because I have my weird contact lenses in tonight. I cannot see your profile. So I'm thinking I'm going to gender you male. I think that's what I'm thinking because it's very blurry. Just I can see it, the words, but I cannot see your profile really tiny. So yes, if you're from Atlanta, there's ITP, which is the perimeter 285 circle all the way around. Michael's from is ITP. The 285 freeway is a circle around Atlanta. If you live inside the circle, it's inside the perimeter. If you live outside, it's OTP, outside the perimeter. So we call that the perimeter. That is the 285 loop around the city. So ITP, OTP. It used to be a big deal. I don't know if it's such a big deal anymore, but I still ask people. I say in town is what I say more than ITP now. I just spoke to someone this afternoon about gardening, and she was wanting some help here in Atlanta. And I asked her if she was in town, and she was. She was in West Midtown, so I knew where to send her for some personal help for her garden, not personal help otherwise. Oh, ITP, yes. So yeah, and I used to live right on the perimeter, and now I live just a little bit outside the perimeter. So I'm not ITP. I started out there, but I migrated out into the burbs away from the city center. But you have proven that you really are from Atlanta. Oh, you were born here. Wow. That's unusual, as you well know. Henry, why do you keep saying huh? Is your microphone turned down? Is your volume turned down? The Pepsi, this is okay. Let me talk to you about Pepsi. I don't drink soft drinks that often, but I saw this particular drink. There it is at the store, and look at my camera. Look what it's doing. Camera over here, camera over here. I got the little can of this stuff. It's Pepsi. It's like Coke Zero, but it's Pepsi Zero in a black can. I'm obsessed. I grew up in the Carolinas, and I had not, and because if you're in Georgia, you don't drink this. This is bad. You drink Coke here in Atlanta because it's the home of Coke. This is what you drink. I'm surprised you can even get it. I think it's on the bottom shelf at Kroger. But growing up in South Carolina, this is what we drank. This is a Carolina Cola. It brings back so many memories. I love drinking it. This is really, really good. So I enjoy it. I've been sipping on this tonight, as you know, but I recommend it. So you only drink Pepsi, Grandma? Yeah, good. Oh, you did, and yes, wow, that's such a beautiful place. Retired, love that. Just love it. Really good memories of going to with my parents to Kitty Hawk. When I was a little kid, we went to the Wright Brothers Memorial. We were living in Virginia, in Norfolk. Wow, just beautiful, so magical. RC Cola, yeah, that's also. I think it's Royal Crown is also. I think a Carolina uh, cola as well. Pepsi was born in North Carolina, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. So you drink Pepsi too, yeah, not Coke. Yep. Yeah, my dad was in the Navy too, retired, as you know. Yeah, and we lived there. What is 404k? I'm not even paying. I can't see it on here. What's going on? So you must be talking about my stats. Must be doing all right. Someone grew up in the Augusta, Georgia area. Is that what Bluegrass is saying? Something about a tomato. Okay. Groovy, is that a euphemism? What are you saying? Your tomato has died. Are we talking about an actual tomato plant, or is this code? Am I missing something here? My tomato died. Oh, 40,000. Oh, okay. That's good. So 40.4. So yeah, let's tap to 50. On this particular screen, I cannot see that. I'm looking at the dashboard for my on TikTok Live Studio, so I don't see it like I see it on my phone. So yeah, it's not there. Looking around. Yes, I am. I absolutely am. So that's why you brought up the tomato. Okay. Your tomato plant died. You had a tomato plant indoors then. You must have been doing that indoors. Yeah, tomatoes are they're if that's what you were doing. I'm not surprised your tomato plant died. Recommendations for gardening. Is that what you mean for your garden? Okay. Yeah. That is the number one reason why people fail with houseplants is they overwater houseplants. It's rarely underwatering. It's always overwatering, drowning them until they're gone. That's the thing you have to resist is watering. Like I have some Sansevieria in the house. They get watered every 2 months. And it's just a tiny bit of water. It's the worst thing you can do. The same with Zamioculcas zamifolia, better known as ZZ. The ZZ plant is another one. It has a lot of water stored in its root system. So if you put water on it on a regular basis, it's going to die for sure. ZZs or Zamioculcas zamifolia has to completely dry out. So you have to allow that to happen. And ZZ is a great plant, by the way. Yep, root rot. Not surprised. Jealous, John? I'm jealous. That would be wonderful to have a greenhouse. Never have had a greenhouse, but I would love to have one, especially like a solarium where I could have plants indoors in the winter, create like an internal inside tropical forest that I could go into like a conservatory. That would just be glorious. Because I think I would sit in there most of the day. That's where my office would be. So fiddle leaf fig trees. So what about whittle fiddles? What about those trees? What are you asking? Rob, Roy, an herb garden is so easy to do. I recommend it. Look into it, do it. You can grow herbs in containers on your porch, your patio, a sunny space like that. They're so easy and so amazing. So fiddle leaf figs, are they an easy plant to grow? Okay, here's what I want you to think about with leaves on trees if you haven't already thought of it. Let me grab this preserved plant as an example. We'll use this. This is a preserved boxwood, okay? Look at my tracking. These are real leaves. So each leaf on here, imagine them being a solar panel. That's what a leaf is really essentially a solar panel. Cellular structure in that leaf facing the sun, and it's there to absorb sunlight. That said, if you're trying to grow a fiddle leaf fig, what does the size of the leaf tell you about how much light it needs? It tells you it likes a lot of light. So they like a high light environment, but not direct sun, unless you have low E glass. And low E glass is a gas-filled glass system that doesn't allow the UV to pass through the glass, and it keeps it from getting hot. So the sun doesn't get intensified and burn things like a standard window would. You can feel the heat when you hold your hand up to the window. You can feel the heat from the sun. If you have low E windows, they have a little greenish tint to them. If you look at them from a certain angle, you won't feel any heat from the sun as it comes through. It'll be barely warm at all. You don't feel anything. You can grow a plant directly in a window like that. Fiddle leaf figs, people fail with those because there's not enough light in the room. You buy them at the store, they've been in a greenhouse, or you buy them out of a greenhouse, there's lots of wonderful bright light. You get them home to your house and there's just not enough light and it starts to drop leaves. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to have the right environment. I have a very dear friend who has a solarium with a swimming pool in it. She has fiddle leaf figs in there that are enormous, and because it's so much, there's so much wonderful indirect light in there and super bright. So that's what you need with a fiddle leaf fig. So if you have a low light environment in your house and you want to have house plants, you need to buy plants that are low light tolerant, like Sansevieria, ZZ plants, Zamioculcas zamifolia. That's a great plant to choose. Spathiphyllum, also known as peace lily, also does really well in a low light environment. Scindapsus aureus, also known as pothos, that does really well in a low light environment, which is that vine. Philodendron, certain philodendrons are low light tolerant. So there's a lot, but the ones that require higher light, you can really fail in those. Aralias won't do so well in a low light environment. So that, and people tend to overwater. You start losing leaves on your fiddle leaf and you want to start watering it. That's how you kill it. Steve Cooks and I clean. Sorry, I missed your comments, guys. I was waxing leafy. I was eating my leafy greens. Someone asked me about a fiddle leaf fig, and I jumped right on it. Hey, the other thing I'll tell you, if you love the look of a fiddle leaf, there's some awesome replica out there. Buy a replica. And you can take that replica plant outside and you can wash it off with a garden hose, the dust, and put it back in. But it just costs a lot of money for a really good replica. But guess what? You never lose a leaf. It does. It takes a long time, and it takes a long time for a fiddle leaf to adjust to low light, but it defoliates is what usually happens, and it looks terrible and unsightly. So I've laid it out to you guys tonight for sure. Yeah, I love it. A lot of people. The fiddle leaf is super popular right now in home decor. It's just you see them in a lot of places now. You can get the replica fiddle leaf, and some of them look so real you don't need to buy one. In our guest suite, there is a Dracaena out there that's a replica Dracaena. It looks really, really real. And the reason it's out there is because I don't go out to the guest suite that often, and I wouldn't be watering it, so it's just out there, and it can be in a darker corner, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, and some plants like your Christmas cactus, they do not like if you bring your Christmas cactus inside in the winter, they do not like any kind of moving air. So if you have a ceiling fan that runs all the time that keeps a gentle breeze going in a room, it's going to shrivel your Christmas cactus. So they really like to be in a space where the air is still and doesn't move that much. They don't like to be near heating registers and anything like that. Olive trees require a lot of light as well. And I haven't ever grown an olive tree in the house, so I don't know much about that. But I know there's some really great replica olives out there, even have fake olives on them. Again, John, my envy level with you, my envy needle has gone to the red zone. It's the buzzer's going off. Thank you, Mary Therese. Thank you, Rob Roy. That's very kind of you. I know some things, not everything, some things. Do you want to talk about quantum physics? We can talk about that. Let's talk about quantum physics. Let's talk about atomic structure. My favorite subject. Groovy's like, no. I promise you I won't subject you to quantum physics. I promise you that. But it's fascinating, guys. It's fascinating. Yes, didn't we talk about electron movement? Was it in the live we were talking about this? Who was I talking to about that? About heat causing electrons to speed up. Oh, it was about a microwave. Somebody's saying that a microwave destroys food and kills nutrients. Don't get me started. It's like Nandina bushes killing birds. Don't get me started. Yeah, Rob's like, no, let's don't do it. Guys, I cannot stand this camera has done this tonight. I don't know what I did. It's a hand gesture control camera. I didn't read the instruction book, so whenever I do my hands a certain way, it does whatever it wants to do. Your husband reads about quantum physics for fun? Yes. I've done it. I've read it for fun. I remember when they discovered the quark I think it was when was that? Recent history. I remember thinking that the smallest element had been discovered, and when I heard about quarks, I'm like, oh my gosh. It was like, oh, you live in Delaware. Wow, I'm in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta. So few people live in Delaware. That's congratulations for being from Delaware. Nandinas, yeah, people tend to believe that Nandinas, that the Nandina shrub, which produces red berries, there is cyanide or something very traces, like an apple seed has it in there, arsenic or whatever's in these. I think it's arsenic, no cyanide. It's arsenic. And cedar waxwings, they tend to flock together. You probably know that, and they'll land like onto a cedar tree, and they'll completely gorge themselves on all the fruit on a cedar. And it's been, I guess, documented that they've gorged themselves on Nandina berries, and as a result, some of the birds have died. So Nandinas have gotten a really bad rap of people wanting to get rid of them. And as a matter of fact, most Nandina bushes you buy now are sterile. They do not produce flowers nor berries. But you probably see a lot, especially here in Atlanta, they're in the woods, because you know how they got in the woods? Does anyone know how Nandina bushes get into the woods? They grew in people's houses, and they ended up in the woods. How did they get there? Comments, anyone? Tell me how Nandinas get in the woods. Birds doing what? Birds doing something that dead birds don't do. Unalive birds don't poo-poo. Let's just put it that way. So to me, they ate it, they enjoyed it, and they did out. That's the end of it. So I'm just telling you, I am not an advocate. I adore Nandinas. Their sweet bamboo is what they're called. There's a very particular way you can prune a sweet bamboo or Nandina in your yard to make it beautiful and full, and it is loaded with gorgeous red berries in the winter. It's right around Christmas time. You can bring those things in for decoration. I adore them and care for them. And I have been known to snip off blooms in the spring just to keep there from being a lot of berries. But I am not in the camp of believing that they're bad. But all of my new Nandinas do not produce flowers and berries. They're there for that really beautiful bronze foliage they have in the winter, which you probably all know about. They're beautiful, beautiful landscape shrub, and some really great varieties right now that are out there. And it's that bronzy foliage too in the winter that I really love. No, people perhaps threw them in the woods, but they're here and there. Like out here in my backyard of my house, there's an area where I did a video today, as a matter of fact. If you look at it, there's a video of daffodils that are blooming right now in that naturalized area. If you look, I think in the shot, there may be the little Nandinas because these are planted by birds who sat on a limb and said, "Excuse me," as they read the latest issue of Harper's. And down it went. And I said, "Thank you," as a beautiful little Nandina sprouted in the leaves. And so I have cared for those little Nandinas, and they're beautiful. And I go out there, as you've seen in my flower decorating videos, I go out with a pair of sharp scissors and clip off a couple of bronze leaves, and I use those in my arrangements around the house during the winter. Yeah, I know. And that you could be, if your dog eats them. My dog has never eaten stuff like that. He doesn't bother. I think he doesn't like salads. So he's just not he's a meat eater. So he's a meat and potatoes kind of dog. He doesn't care for, he doesn't eat salads. So he's never eaten Andina. So, but I understand if your dog tends to eat that stuff. And dogs, don't they have an instinctive knowledge to know not to eat that? Maybe. I don't know. Didn't think she ate it. Yeah. And as a kid, I probably tasted a Nandina bush, but they're not like they have tons of it in there. You just can't eat a bunch of them. You know, if you gorged yourself on them, you would get sick from it. Of course, you'd get a stomach ache before you got, you became pretty unalive yourself. Yeah. I would say my dog's a carnivore, but I think he's an omnivore because he will eat potatoes and stuff like that. He's been known to do that. He will eat vegetables. Like I think he loves carrots. Like if you give him a baby carrot, he'll eat those. There's no problem with that. He likes green peas. I have a little Chihuahua Min Pin mix. It's called a Chaipan. The two breeds mixed together. He looks like a little Doberman. He's an old man now, so wherever he was brown and tawny, he is now white. But when he was a pup or a young little dog, he looked like a little Doberman. So when you walked to me, his ears were pointing up straight. He curled his tail back. He was, I'm going to use code. He was a bad butt. Use the other word. Yes, he was a bad donkey. That's what he was. Yeah, apples too. Yeah, and his name is Edison, by the way. We call him Boo Boo, but Boo Boo eats just about anything. I swear, I think Boo Boo could eat raisins and chocolate and be fine. He's never, that I know of, unless he got into the food pantry while I was gone, and I haven't seen any evidence of that. Yeah, if we can get it to 50, let's see if we can do that. 50 shuts me up. So that's how it works. Yeah, they are super cute. I used to love walking him when he was little like that and when he was younger because he just looked like that. He would just be, that dog was an alpha dog or is an alpha dog still. He's just, he's slowing down. But it was fun to walk him because he got so much attention because of the way he looked and the way he would stand. It's like he didn't take crap off anybody, no matter how big the dog was. He just was like unfazed. That's how he is. Fanes, you made it. Are you sliding in right here at the end, Fanes? You just showed up and you just slid in. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you made it to the end of this live. Again, a reminder, I think mostly core, the crews here tonight, is that this will be archived on YouTube. I'll download it, and this sideways video of me tipped over here to the side like this will be put onto YouTube. We can all watch it again. And I can cringe as I watch myself talk about my swimming trunks. Yeah, I know. That's exactly. Some dogs are like that. Yeah. A little, so a Morkie, is that what I'm seeing, right? So a mixed breed. Reading comments. It gets silent standing here. Yeah, I'm glad you did. Alexander, yeah, or Alex, I think is your name you go by. I see you liking videos, but I never see you in a live, so I'm glad you caught it here. Yeah, the lives typically go from 7 to 9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so here we are in the final 15 minutes of our pledge drive. I'm so glad you could join us, and if we can just get 2 more calls in the next 5 minutes, we will be able to call this pledge drive to an end. Yeah, you missed a little bit tonight for sure. Yeah, you missed something. Yeah, you did. You'll have to watch it you'll have to watch it on YouTube to see. Oh lordy, Groovy. I'm telling you, Groovy, you're just not making Daddy proud right now. You're just really not. You're spilling all. You're taking all my dirty laundry out and you're hanging it on the clothesline. You didn't even wash it first. I can't believe it. You missed an hour. Woohoo! Yeah, Fanes, I hope you do watch it. Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything, but subscribe to it. That's going to help me build an audience on there as well. And I did get some comments. You can comment on those. Someone commented today and made some suggestions. They were telling me to move my entire operation over to YouTube. But there's just, I read the comments because I do get notifications. Oh, Vivi. Oh, Vivi. Vivi said, you won't need a clothesline for those shorts. You just need a nail. Well, I don't like to correct people, but I'm going to tell you this. It's just going to be a tack. That's all it's going to take. Fanes likes my shirt. And Fanes, I'm having trouble with my tracking camera. It's being irritating tonight because I did something hand gesture-wise to it. But yes, I'm glad you like my shirt. This is a shirt, either you love it or you hate it. So I'm glad that you're in the camp of liking it, because when I wear this in real life, people always comment on the shirt, and it's either nice shirt or nice shirt. Thank you for saying you love my shirt. I wore it tonight because I really do love this fabric and color. I really do. It is kind of Robert Graham. It is. It's not a Robert Graham. This might be his brother, Walter Graham, he's just unknown. Who knows? But it's a nice shirt. It really is. And I used to wear Robert Graham back in the day, and I am so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I don't understand why it's doing this. I don't know why it's doing it. It's in some kind of presentation mode. And I'm leaning over like this. Now my back is hurting. You make the shirt. Chipper. I love Chipper. Chipper is always so chipper. Or, yeah, interesting shirt. Oh, that's a shirt. Because someone said that. They came in live and said, that's a shirt. It's fine. See? And there's another one. It's fine. Thanks, Rob Roy. This shirt's fine. I'm glad to say, see, the thing is, when I bought this shirt, I typically am going to buy something conservative, and I'm going to wear something plaid, or I'm going to wear something that's got a little squares in it or something like that, or maybe some stripes. This was bold, and I saw it. True confessions. It was on the mannequin. It was on the mannequin. It was on the mannequin. It had a sweater over it, and there was like a navy blue sweater, and you could see the shirt under it, and so off went the sweater, and I took the shirt off the mannequin. So I liked it that much. So I left the mannequin standing there with nothing on. Well, shirtless. No, you didn't. The camera's fine. I know, Rob. It's okay. Thank you. But look, you got to hear me talk about the shirt again. It looked like it stopped doing whatever it was doing. I don't know. I tried all kinds of hand gestures, but if I do the wrong hand gestures on TikTok, I'll get banned. I know, Rob. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Teasing you. No birds. Oops. Helps to turn the can around the right way. You guys have to check this out. Pepsi, zero sugar. You need to try it and tell me what you think. In the final 9 minutes of our pledge drive tonight, I'm all yours. What kind of pants do I have on? Well, let's take a poll, not set up an actual poll. How many people think I'm not wearing any pants with this shirt? Pepsi is the way to go for sure. Absolutely it is. It's not a mini can. I started with mini cans. Yes. Ooh, JC's gal. Oh my gosh, low blow. How many people care? I think JC just slipped into my live. JC, this live is about telling me how great I am and how great my shirt looks. This isn't about people being mean. Although maybe you weren't being mean. Who knows? No. Mad wife, housewife cares. She cares. This is a live where we talk about guessing what I'm wearing, what kind of pants I'm wearing. Whoa. Wow. Wow, JC, you're just really going for it. I think though, you might want to Google narcissism and make sure you know what it means, because I'm pretty sure you don't know. No gym shorts. I'm wearing the swimming trunks. Yeah, no, I'm joking. I'm not wearing the large one. I'm wearing jeans. I'm just wearing jeans. So I want to say something to the label of narcissism. And I want to talk to people who jump into my live who see just a snippet and make a decision about creating a label like that. This live tonight is always about me just sitting here in this desk talking to you guys. That's what this is about. So it could be anything we talk about. Thursday night is about being at that craft table. So we're good. I know it is overused. Narcissism is for everything now. It's like anyone who talks about themselves is a narcissist. You know, I'm wearing jeans. Is what I'm wearing tonight. And we talked about those jeans earlier because during COVID, these jeans were the jeans that I had to go and then I had to bend down and stretch the jeans. Now, because of working hard to get rid of all that extra weight, these jeans they don't even have to be unbuttoned. I do not have to unbutton them. I just slip them on like gym shorts. That's how loose they are. So yes, that is what I'm wearing. Jeans and this lovely shirt. In the summer, it will be shorts and this lovely shirt or a shirt like it. And guys, I want to be clear. I appreciate you guys. I certainly do. And all the things we talk about on this live, especially when I sit at this desk, it's all in fun. Never would want to offend any of you. And certainly am not here to have my ego fed. But I am on this live for whatever reason, because we've connected. So that's what this is about. Yeah, exactly. Everyone who breaks up says that. Yeah, you're a narcissist. Oh, thanks for saying that, Eric. Yeah. Show the house decorated. And yes, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you see that. Too many people think self-confidence is narcissism. Yeah. So my thing is with the house, when I show you guys things in the house like the orchid today, I try to show you a little bit of it because people ask about what the house looks like. And so I try to when I'm showing the orchids, I try to pan across as much as I can so you can see it, because I think it would be a boring video to walk around with the camera going, and this is a lamp, blah, 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 and this is a vase. I'm just not doing that. It's just like it's pan across so you can kind of see what it looks like and try to add something in. But the good thing about today is because it's getting a little warm here, the gardening videos are coming soon. I have plans. I have all the supplies for a small recirculating pond that I want to build in a certain part of the garden this year. So that is going to be hopefully the phone on a tripod for a live while I dig a pond and start laying a liner. So that is something I'm going to do. It's not a huge pond. It's a very small pond, not as small as the little micro pond I have, but a little bit bigger than that. But I have the liner, the underlayment, and all that stuff already. I bought it last year. I just never got to it. But that's the thing I want to do this year. Yeah, the gardens will be out there in it for sure. Yeah, okay, on the Thomasville bed in that room. Yeah, that's a Thomasville bed that I found at a secondhand store. Happy inside. Do you have any pets? I have cats. They're identical sisters. That's so cute. I love cats. My cat died a long time ago, and I just haven't ever replaced the cat. I have a dog. I have a small dog who's a Chihuahua Min Pin mix. Yeah, I love to see the bulbs start pushing out, and that it'll be in next month. We'll start to see the crowns of ferns and things like that to begin to push up in green. By April 1st, the clematis. I say clematis, you say clematis, but the clematis on the front is going to be possibly in full bloom, and that's just a little over a month away. So all that's happening. Vintage clothes, I have a few pieces, but most of my stuff these days is new. Yeah, I don't have many vintage clothes. Thank you, user 7635. Hopefully you come up with a nickname for yourself. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you came on the live tonight. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Have I shown my dog? Yeah, Boo Boo is on some of the videos. He is, absolutely. Yeah, my grandmother had clematis as well. Yeah. Again, some people say clematis. Yes, you saw what I did today in my video. You saw the autumn ferns. I take all the fronds off and start completely fresh, and they come back beautifully. And by May, that garden is going to be greened out, unbelievable. And if that's what I was saying today when I did the video of the garden, look at it, and you'll see what it looks like now. And then we'll go back and show it in May. And even if you want to see it, go back in my video history before Christmas and look around May. And I do one on a stilby. The thumbnail is of a stilby. It's a white kind of fuzzy flower. Click on that and you'll see the same garden shot in the middle of May and how different it looks. It's just amazing how it fills in. Yeah, it's so beautiful up in Delaware in that area in the spring, for sure. Absolutely. Garrett, have a good night. I didn't see Garrett say he was leaving, but I hate I missed that. Yeah, mums actually do well from being cut back as well. Definitely does. Well, guys, we are right here at the end at 8:58. It looks like the very end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm glad we had this time together to share a laugh or two, as Carol Burnett used to say. But I do hope that all of you have a great night. Thursday night, we're going to be back at the craft table. Hopefully all my technical difficulties have been resolved, but we're going to be working on that clock case, which is going to be lots of fun. Diane, good night to you. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. We'll talk very soon. Take care, guys.